it's normal to feel like you're in the shell, but like you gotta just sometimes just get out of the shell and just talk to someone about it. I promise you that there will be someone that will approach you with open arms, and they're always open to listen to you. Yeah, so I'm Richard. I go to UMD. I am studying mechanical engineering, and it's my freshman year. And yeah,
What do you like to do in your free time?
I like to play tennis. Yeah, I just like to play tennis, watch sports, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So let's kind of pivot a little bit and talk a little bit about your faith journey. Have you been
Sure.
kind of religious your whole life, or has it been something you kind of picked up along the way later in life?
Yeah, so actually, it's been about a couple months since I've picked up on Christianity, and it just kind of happened so that one of my friends was talking to me about Christianity, and I was interested in it, and yeah, we started picking out a few parts of the Bible, and we did like a Bible plan, and yeah, that's how I started becoming Christian, and here I am today. Yeah.
Who is this with that you did the plan with?
Yeah, so he is a junior in high school right now, and he got me into Christianity, and yeah, I met him through tennis, and yeah, we've been talking, and yeah, stuff like that.
Okay, awesome. I guess since you kind of relatively new to Christianity, has it been something kind of easy to pick up, or have you kind of found it a little bit hard, to kind of figure out how things go?
That's a good question. There's some parts where I definitely change how I, approach things in life. But it's definitely a sacrifice to make for sure. So I wouldn't necessarily call it easy, but those sacrifices I think are worth it, and it doesn't. It's not much. It's not much. It's not like difficult, impossible stuff like that. And it's just like we're all working on this together. So everyone's working on this together. So it's not like you're alone. So yeah, but I wouldn't say it's easy for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not easy, even for the most experienced
Hmm.
Christians. So you're definitely not alone in that area. How do you find community within the Christian faith? Is it like through Bible studies, or talking with your friends, other like-minded believers? How have you kind of found your community, especially being new to the faith as a whole?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I just try to find, a group of people to hang out with. Like, for example, One U is um is a group that I joined, and it was a club I joined, and I met new people there, and we formed, friend groups, and stuff like that. I would like to go to more Bible studies, but I just didn't have the chance to go to Bible studies. I know One U offers it, but it's like it's kind of hard to go because of my late night classes. So yeah, I would be interested in Bible studies for sure, though. Yeah,
Yeah, Bible studies are always a great way to kind of grow your faith and
for sure.
continue to build that community with other like-minded believers.
Hmm.
Definitely. So let's kind of transition a little bit here. Throughout your life, I know you may not necessarily be faith correlated, but or maybe in the last few months, has there
Yeah.
been a time where you kind of noticed, had a kind of what we call a faith victory, where your faith, even though it may be new, has helped you through a tough time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes when I feel like I'm struggling, or I feel like I feel hopeless, I pray, I read the Bible, I try to stay connected with God more, and that's been really helpful for me. And it helped me grow a sense of confidence to what I'm doing, and yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Is anyone in your family religious, or you kind of is it like has you been around it all your life, or is just something you kind of just decided to do on your own since you kind of been in college?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually something that I picked up on my own. None of my family members are Christian. I would like them to be Christian one day, but I understand that, it's not like, something that happens instantly. But yeah, I picked up Christianity on my own during the summer, and yeah. Yeah.
Why would you like them to be Christian? I'm asking because again, you're kind of relatively new to the faith, and now all of a sudden you're like you want your family to be Christian. What have you kind of experienced that you want them to experience too, I guess?
Yeah, I hope, as being a Christian, like I said, like we talked about, like the growth and confidence on what I'm doing and staying connected to God and stuff like that. I want them to, have a life where they connect with God more, because God, you know, God made it clear in the Bible that Jesus sacrificed for sins, and I feel like that's, we should appreciate that, and yeah, it's not just about the confidence, it's mainly about, putting your life to Jesus, and following his footsteps, and that's the type of life that I want to live in, and that's the type of life that I wish that my family members also follow as well.
That's awesome. So obviously, being new to the faith, you can kind of answer this question better than most people. Is what might you say to people who, like you, may be new to the faith or maybe on the fence of becoming Christian, getting more involved in studies and Bible groups? What might you kind of say to them from your experiences that you've had in these last couple months?
Just communicate, man. Like this group of people are like, they're so friendly, and they will like want to talk to you. So like just talk to someone about it. It could just be one person, and if you don't feel like talking to anyone about it, just show up to church once and see how it is. And it's it's normal to feel like, it's normal to feel like you're in the shell, but like you gotta just sometimes just get out of the shell and just talk to someone about it. And I promise you that there will be someone that's, that will approach you with open arms, and they're always open to listen to you. I mean, and just show up to church, you know, just show up to church, and you always pick up something new for sure. Yeah.
What church have you been going to?
So when I was in elementary school, I went to church, but it was not like, it was kind of like, lukewarm. So I wasn't really, serious about it. But now I go to Solid Rock.
And what do you like? What do you like best about Solid Rock? What about, is there anything about the service or the people? They're just, feeling that you get a word from God. What do you kind of like best about um, your time at Solid Rock when you go each week?
Yeah, at Solid Rock, everyone's, in the sense, in the community, everyone's welcoming you, and there's no like force into, you having to do certain things. It's all like, they understand. There's not pressure at all, in my opinion. It's just like you show up, see how it is. You got the stuff you need to know, and it's just like they don't force you to do stuff. It just happens so that they make it so that you kind of realize on your own that, Christianity is for me or not. And, they're really respectful about whatever you choose to do. So they're like, if you want to go to a different church, you should try to go to a different church as well. But, that's the type of things that I like about Solid Rock. They're genuinely trying to help you. Yeah.
It's always nice when you have a group of people that want to help you, but also don't pressure you to do something to let you kind of explore it your own way and whatever works best for you. That goes for anything, because if you feel pressured to do something, you're not going to want to do it. But if you feel welcomed and encouraged and supported, then you'll feel empowered that and you belong. That sense of community. All right, so kind of wrap things up, we like to call these I will statements. So something that you may do in the short term to kind of continue to build upon your faith. So what's one I will statement that you might want to, one step that you want to take, maybe in the next few months, to kind of build upon your faith that you started?
Yeah, I mean, on Sundays, I I always tell myself that I'll go to church every Sundays, and that doesn't happen, all the time, because it's hard at first to keep that consistency. So I will go to church every Sunday as much as I can. And yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, not always easy to go to church every Sunday. We don't always feel like it, but
Mhm.
when we go, it's always a good experience. You always feel better. At least typically, I do feel better uh, coming out than I did coming in. And we know we're all busy with various activities and other things in our lives, but I think that's a great, first little step. I'm sure the more you develop consistency, the easier it'll be for you. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, Richard, really appreciate you taking a couple minutes to share a little about your faith journey. Keep on what you're doing. Definitely great that you found Christ and are on the path and are connected. Uh, Love to have you back, maybe in a little bit to see how your faith journey is going. But we appreciate your time, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.